Thanks for being here. I'm going to start slowly as people are rolling in, and then keep going. So we've got the monitors are a little there we go, perfect. So as Todd mentioned, I run the digital worker ecosystem at Automation Anywhere, which is a fun role. And as we talk about automation and AI and RPA. To me, we talk about those things very much in the context of today. We think about digital transformations, we think about technology that we're bringing in, but I want to pose this to you as we've had big thinking all morning, and I'm going to jump into the practical, but I'll throw one big thought out to you. This is not about a technology transformation. This is about a labor transformation. It's about your workforce. It's about thinking about your workforce beyond the human to include the digital. That is the fundamental direction that we believe is critical as we think about the workforce of the future. So let's start off and back up and talk about why RPA. Fundamentally, there's one common interface that all systems, all those hundreds and thousands of systems that you've deployed across your enterprises use. There's one common interface, which is the user interface. Your systems have been designed for humans to interact with them and apply them. Now, there's lots of your systems have APIs, of course, but the common aspect of all those systems is a user interface. And some of those are easy to use, some are optimized, others are confusing and difficult to understand. But the one thing that's in common across all of those is they're designed for human interaction. The global challenge to being a digital enterprise is that every application vendor believes that their system will solve so many of the problems that you have in place. They want you to believe that you can deploy their system and expand it and solve all those problems, whether it's with their core software, something that's on the roadmap, or by integrating it through an API with other capabilities in the enterprise. Some vendors will try and convince you to rip and replace. Take that old system, that legacy system that you have, and you can pull that out, and our system will do everything that it did and more. But we know how disruptive that is in terms of business operations and the ability to execute. The result, of course, is you have dozens of incompatible systems deployed across your enterprise. And then lastly, as a technology leader, I sit on an API council that has a lot of global technology leaders talk about what we can do in order to drive things forward with regard to APIs. That's my hammer as a technology leader. I have APIs that I can use for integration. I use those for digital transformation. But if you need to combine that with an army of software engineers, project managers, program managers, product managers, and depending on the complexity of the project, those things can last for months to years, and certainly cost millions of dollars. But by the time you're done with that project, there's probably 20 new systems that got introduced. Earlier today, we heard about that. We heard Peter talking about the explosion of technology and innovation that's happening, and you're experiencing that in your companies. You see teams bringing in new systems. When we talked about bring your own device, a lot of people are bringing their own SaaS to solve departmental problems. That only poses a larger challenge for you organizationally in order to bring all those systems together in order to be a truly digital enterprise. The real impediment to building your digital enterprise is that you have a hammer that only addresses 20% of the market, 20% of your automation, 20% of your systems. And you know better than that. That's not solving the digital transformation problem that you're trying to address. If you don't work with what you have today, which includes legacy systems and new systems that are constantly being introduced in your companies, you'll need to hire more and more staff in order to act as what we call human bridges between your systems. So with 20 to 40% of your staff acting as human bridges between those systems, and I sometimes refer to this as swivel chair operators, right? People who are going from one system to the other system, copying data, entering that data, making mistakes in some cases. The productivity and innovation that you're seeking in your enterprises is escaping you because frankly, it's right in front of you. It's your human capital. It's your workforce. How do you unleash that workforce? And really, it's easier to attain than you might imagine. In fact, with all the potential for AI that you heard this morning and you're going to hear over the next few days, the reality is the best AI doesn't help you unless you can integrate it with your business processes. So the challenge is, as you learn about all these great things that are out there, if you can't figure out how to operationalize that in a reasonable way, and I'm not talking about a multi-year, multi-million-dollar project in order to integrate one piece of AI that may solve one problem for one department, but how do you do that more effectively? And ultimately, that'll allow you not only to deliver the value of that AI, but be able to forecast that in your business operations and deliver an intelligent automation in your enterprise. This matters for your business because more and more of you are competing against digital-first businesses. And we heard once again that this morning. We heard about the disruption of traditional business, but the reality is these companies and many others have grown up with integrated systems that are built on a platform that delivers the most flexibility, scalability, and speed in mind. And these are the organizations that you need to compete with, or companies like these. So by combining AI with RPA and leveraging the data and business insights that come from those, this can be harnessed as part of your digital workforce. And for the first time ever, get 100% connectivity and automation across all of your systems. This is the power of intelligent automation. This is the potential of intelligent automation. So an enterprise that can be, where anything can be automated is automated. And this, as I mentioned, unlocks your true potential as an automated enterprise. So one other thing to consider, and I think this is a really important point once again that was reinforced earlier today, is as much as we'd like to consider automation for the things that we know about, the business processes, the tools, the technology that we have in our enterprise today, 30% of our use cases that exist today we can't anticipate for tomorrow. So when we build and when we do these projects today, you can expect that at least 30% in the future will be something you haven't even considered. And to put that in context, I'm going to play a little video that's a fun blast from the past. Hopefully, we'll give a little bit more context in addition to what Peter did this morning.
Back now at 56 past, I wasn't prepared to translate that as I was doing that little tease.
Oh, that's
that little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard something big fight up in the lunchroom the other week.
There it is. Violence at NBC. GE.com. I mean,
well, Allison should know.
What is internet anyway?
Internet is that
massive computer network.
The one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big. How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
No, she can't say anything in 10 seconds or less.
Oh, Allison will be in the studio shortly.
What
does it mean?
It's a giant computer network made up of started from.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us what this was.
It's like a computer billboard.
It's not an. It's a computer billboard, but it's nationwide, and it's several universities and everything all joined together.
Right.
And others can access it.
Right.
And it's getting bigger and bigger all the time.
It came in really handy during the quake. A lot of people, that's how they were communicating out to tell family and loved ones they were okay because all the phone lines were down.
I was telling Katie and I was.
But you don't need that. You don't need a phone line to operate internet.
No.
So that can put things into context 24 years ago. And think about it, as fundamental as email, as the internet is today, 24 years ago, the context wasn't even understood at a basic level. And that's not the only example. The things that are impacting our business processes today that didn't 10, 20 years ago, Sarbanes-Oxley, SOC 2 is something that's new. Think about the business processes that you need to put in place and the systems that those regulations and requirements interact with in order to comply and to run your businesses on a daily basis. New platforms and services like Workday and Splunk and the impact of bringing your own device to the enterprise. All of those things have impacts. And so as you think about your automation journey, your digital transformation, what are you doing to ensure that you can prepare for the future, not just react to the past? So one other comment I want to make on this, and once again, Peter reinforced it this morning, is the blazing pace of innovation is we've seen in the consumer world. We've seen this certainly in the last decade since the iPhone came out and even before then, but more rapid pace in more recent years. The things in the enterprise that are enabling this are things like AWS and Azure and Google Cloud. These are all enabling innovators and entrepreneurs to disrupt your businesses, to create new services that your teams want to use that fundamentally need to be integrated into your environment and into your businesses. So to address the rapid pace of change, along with the reality of both legacy systems and what we call the Cambrian explosion of SaaS and applications that are out there, the workforce of the future needs to combine both human and digital workers in order to deliver an integrated workforce. The intelligent digital workforce is not just about RPA. That's only one piece of the puzzle. As I mentioned before, it's AI, it's RPA, and what's been mentioned a number of times, it's also analytics. Those three pieces, AI, RPA, and analytics, help complete that workforce equation, which is people who think, do, and analyze, and then they go back in that cycle again and get the work done. And AI's power can only be harnessed by integrating it into both new and existing business processes. While RPA platforms enable you to basically build and automate just about anything, we believe that a platform combined with a marketplace for bots and digital workers helps you accelerate your time to value. So when you start deploying that platform, what are you doing to be able to go find existing digital workers? Hire a worker who has skills that can come to your organization, and you train them to operate just like you would train a human worker, and they begin to add value. So our customers see value in hiring digital workers that have skills associated with traditional job roles. It's easy to think about an AP clerk or a loan application specialist and how you can complement those workers with a digital worker who offloads those repetitive, mundane tasks. Imagine the innovative capacity that you'll unleash if you take the repetitive, mundane tasks off your staff's plate by leveraging a digital worker with needed skills. I call this taking the robot out of the human. Over the past 15 years with computers, we've trained humans to sit in front of computers and do repetitive tasks. It's time for us to take those repetitive robotic tasks out of the human. So here's an example in the banking industry of an RPA value chain. You can look at a number of actions that occur, everything from front office and back office roles along the lines of things like debit card and check issuance and loan application processing, including loan funding and other repetitive tasks. And some of these are front office and back office tasks. Some of these roles can be handled entirely by a digital worker, and others are combined with both human and digital workers working together in order to perform those tasks and that business process. Let's take a look at an example from one of our banking success stories. So Bancolombia is one of our customers. Their objective was to, and just to give a little bit of context on them, they have banking services for customers in 12 countries, and it's one of the 10 largest financial groups in Latin America. They needed to develop a virtual workforce, and they looked at how they're going to enhance their customer experience. They wanted to automate repetitive tasks and, of course, increase efficiency across the board. The largest part of this challenge for Bancolombia was the transformation of their working methodology to coordinate work between both humans and digital workers and bots. Bancolombia sifts through structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, customer data, in order to transform their business process management. And some of the things that they've done are automating hundreds of their back office processes in order to address these goals. And here are their outcomes. They had 1,300% ROI within the first year on their investment. They've saved more than 127,000 hours of time in their work in their branches. They increased customer satisfaction, and they've also opened new revenue streams. And this isn't an isolated strategy for Banca Colombia. It's a capability that leverages the achievements in their organization's strategic objectives within their intelligent process automation framework. Of course, RPA can apply to any vertical industry and certainly across horizontal functions like HR and finance. This is an example within the insurance industry of a lot of, once again, roles and skills that can be automated in the insurance industry. So what are the things that you need to consider when you're looking at RPA and when you're looking at an intelligent automation solution? First, this is not an automation journey. I want to reinforce that. I said that at the beginning. This is a workforce journey. You need to build your intelligent digital workforce, and this isn't just about RPA. It's about RPA plus AI plus analytics. You should look at ways to take advantage of accelerating time to value, especially as you're beginning to roll things out and you have more and more roles that need to be automated. How do you empower your business users to understand the capability of a technology that may seem elusive? Next, you need to consider scale. So scale exists in a number of ways. We can think of scale from a technology perspective, but we also need to think about it as the types of things that you want to automate, both attended and unattended automations. Things that happen in the back office, things that happen in the front office. You need to think about the accuracy, scale of your workforce and how digital workers can bring that 24/7 operations, but also help complement your human workers with accuracy and speed. And scale is not just about the system, but it's also about how you manage your workforce. So how you orchestrate execution, how you get data back from that workforce, the analytics that you're getting from the real-time processing of that data. Next, it's really important to think about automation as something that is not done by IT to a worker. Too often when we do digital transformations, there's resistance in our enterprises because people feel like their jobs are being taken away. They're not part of the solution. We need to empower business users to come forward and say, I want to free my time up from this crap that I'm doing every day that's repetitive to add innovation and use my mind in what I'm doing to drive value in the enterprise. So engage the business, engage the end user to help define, not be done to them by IT. That will drive job satisfaction, it'll drive innovation, and it'll get you insights into your business processes that you probably don't understand today. So you want to make sure that they are empowered to build digital workers and bots, as well as your center of excellence in your IT organization. And lastly, of course, you need to make sure your platform, your intelligent automation platform, fits into your security and compliance models the same way humans do. Many of our customers provision users as contractors in their directory services that are digital workers. You treat digital workers the same way you treat your human workers. You think about the level of access they have the same audit and control, and the things that you need to consider when you're doing that are credential management, your audit trails, your reporting, how it fits into your compliance and your external audits. Those are all things that are critical. So this is a high-level blueprint for the things to think about with regard to automation, but I'll leave you with this last point, which is the automation journey is about a workforce in a labor transformation. It's not about a technology solve. It's about how your workforce evolves in the future to be both human and digital. With that, thank you very much.